Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video, and let's talk about the new Battlefield 6 news. But first, please subscribe, it helps the channel a lot, and with that out of the way, let's begin. So, the new Battlefield will be released. It is reported that it will be released as early as October in 2025, which isn't that far away, considering each Battlefield game had about a 3-year age gap in between it. So, Battlefield 4 was released in 2013. Battlefield 5 was released in 2018. Obviously, that's a pretty bad example because that's what 5 years in between. But with Battlefield 2042 being released in 2021 and this game being released in 2024, that's actually a 3-year gap, which isn't that bad for a whole new game coming out. And EA has said that some kind of community test program will be released early in 2025. And about that, it will be very, very good if EA does happen to release this game in October of 2025, because that means that we already have a new Battlefield game. And since Battlefield 2042 isn't doing too well to begin with, especially at the beginning, but it's doing fine now, since it wasn't doing that well, this will be great news to hear if Battlefield 6 does come out in October of 2025, which is, yeah, like I said, very, very soon. Now let's talk about platforms. Platforms for the next Battlefield game haven't been confirmed, but we can expect for them to be released on typical PC, PlayStation, and Xbox consoles. And Nintendo has talked about the Nintendo Switch 2 coming out, which has the possibility to have Battlefield 6 on it. Even though I doubt that is coming to it, since the Switch 2 I doubt will be very powerful, it is a real possibility that Nintendo could actually incorporate Battlefield into their system. Even though it's highly unlikely this could happen, it's still a possibility. Another thing, it is too soon to say when the Battlefield will show up on the Switch 2 platform, if it does show up. And everything with Battlefield being released on platforms, I assume it's going to be crossplay just like it was on 2042. 2042, I believe, wait no, it was the second crossplay Battlefield game, second to Battlefield 5, I believe. Check me if I'm wrong. Which means I bet it will be crossplay, because Battlefield 5 and 2042, they weren't exactly not successful, but they were successful. It's kind of hard to say, but they were successful in incorporating crossplay, and it did work very well. There weren't too many bugs with crossplay, errors, and stuff like that. Now, the next thing I would like to talk about in this video is weapons destruction and gameplay. 45 different weapons are going to be at launch, which does happen to be more than double of what 2042 had at release, which is very, very good. And Battlefield 6 not only is going to have double the weapons at launch, it's also going to plan to have release more weapons, which is even better. Just great news overall. It's also aiming to have 10 multiplayer maps at launch, which is very, very good for what they plan to do compared to 2042, which had barely any content at launch. It's also going to have more maps after launch, which is also even better news for us Battlefield players. There's also going to be a new destruction system implemented, which is called the caliber-based destruction. It's going to be very similar to what Rainbow Six Siege has, where you can break barriers and stuff and use them as mounts and all sorts of stuff. If you just look at Rainbow Six Siege gameplay, you'll see what I'm talking about with destruction type stuff. Battlefield players will be able to now pick up and move down players, supposedly. This isn't official, but it's supposed that Battlefield 6 and Battlefield 6 players will be able to move down players, which actually will be pretty cool. And about that, that will be incorporated into their whole new Battle Royale system that will be possibly coming out in Battlefield 6. They will possibly be releasing Battle Royale in Battlefield 6, which I am very excited to see, because I think the Battle Royale system will either flop or do extremely well. I'm not sure which one. We'll just have to see when the game releases, if Battle Royale even comes out for Battlefield 6. Moving on, 128 player matches will no longer be in Battlefield. They removed them, and to be honest, I'm not very surprised. 128 players, as most people said, and my opinion on it, it's just too much. There's too many players, it's too chaotic for 128 players. I liked it when they kept it at 64. And that's exactly what they're doing now. They're actually listening to their community. And they're going to remove specialists now, and they're actually going to bring back a traditional class-based system, which is going to be very good since a lot of people missed it and a lot of people hated specialists, including me. So now we're going to have the original Battlefield 4 class-based system, which is going to be amazing. Now let's talk about the new Battlefield story campaign, setting, and characters if there are going to be any. There isn't a whole lot known about the setting and characters for the new Battlefield game. However, it has been confirmed that the setting will be set in modern day times, which is what I really like. It's going to be set in the Battlefield 4 times, which is going to be amazing. And Insider Gaming also reported that the new Battlefield game will take place in between 2027 and 2030, which is going to be very good. And it's also claimed that it will take place in a number of locations around the world, including USA and Gibraltar, if I pronounce that right. And also, there's going to be the peak. It's going to feel like the peak of Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 3 days. That means everything is going to feel nostalgic like it was in Battlefield 4, Battlefield 3. So we can expect a lot of those type of mechanics back with the no sliding, all that type of stuff. Even though I did like sliding, and I'm sure a lot of other people did, it's nice to have the Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 3 mechanics back. Anyways, that's pretty much the end of the video for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please like and subscribe. And that's pretty much it for today. I'll see you guys in the next one.